Alright, let's start with a question that's probably never been asked in a boardroom. How many of your company's software tools are basically ghost employees? You know, the ones quietly collecting paychecks every month while doing absolutely nothing? Welcome to the wild world of SaaS creep, the silent killer of startup margins and productivity. Personally, I think this is one of those problems that sounds boring until you realize it's bleeding your company dry. And honestly, most founders don't even see it coming. Here's the thing, SaaS tools start off as lifesavers. You need a project manager? Slack. A CRM? Fine. But fast forward 6 months, and suddenly you've got 27 overlapping apps, each charging $50 here, $100 there. Individually, it's pocket change. Collectively, it's a black hole. What many people don't realize is that these tools aren't just wasting money, they're eating hours of your team's day. Switching between apps, re-entering data, hunting for files, it's the digital equivalent of digging through a junk drawer for your car keys. Every single day. Let me tell you about Maria, the PR founder who discovered she'd paid for 5 scheduling tools last year. 5. None of them integrated. Half of them weren't even opened. And yet, her team kept buying more. Why? Because in the chaos of scaling, nobody paused to ask, who's actually using this? What happens if we cut it? These aren't easy questions. Founders hate ripping out tools mid-growth, they're like, what if everything crashes? But here's the kicker, when Maria audited her stack, she found that axing those redundancies saved her $15,000 annually and cut meeting prep time in half. That's not just cost savings, that's a productivity multiplier. Now, let's talk about Matthew, the lawyer who reviews every SaaS renewal himself. A personal injury attorney micromanaging software budgets? Sounds weird, right? But this guy's been profitable for a decade because he treats subscriptions like credit cards. If you wouldn't approve it on day 1, why keep it on year 3? His rule: protect the tools that touch your core product, like that CRM holding client data, but nuke anything that's just existing. And honestly, that's genius. Because the real danger isn't the $50 per month app. It's the $50 per month app that's slowing down your team's workflow, creating shadow IT systems, and making new hires want to pull their hair out. Here's a detail I find fascinating: SaaS creep isn't actually about software. It's about decision fatigue. When your marketing lead needs a quick fix, they don't care if IT already bought a tool last quarter. They just want the problem gone. Multiply that across 10 employees, and suddenly you've got shadow SaaS sprouting like mushrooms after rain. And while it's tempting to blame rogue subscriptions, the deeper issue is communication. If your sales team is using a tool your engineers never heard of, that's not a tech problem, that's a people problem. A SaaS audit isn't about spreadsheets, it's about asking, why didn't these teams talk to each other? So what's the solution? Quarterly audits? Mandatory usage checks? Sure, but that's just the start. What this really suggests is that startups need a cultural shift. We've got to stop treating software as disposable. Every tool you add should feel like hiring a new employee, vetted, trained, and regularly reviewed. Otherwise, you're not building a tech stack, you're just hoarding digital clutter. And let's be real, the next time you're wondering why your burn rate's through the roof, maybe the culprit isn't some complex financial mystery. Maybe it's that free trial Slack competitor you forgot about, which now costs $500 per month. What do you think? Have you ever uncovered a SaaS ghost in your company? Drop a comment below, let's hear your horror stories. Because trust me, if you're not auditing your tools, you're leaving money and time on the table. And in the startup game, that's a luxury none of us can afford.